Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
We're back. Round
Episode 2. Or whatever. Some kind of something. Naked Knowledge Night.
Yeah, what are our thoughts on the name?
I still love it. I haven't even had a chance to, I don't think, tell my husband about it.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I'm sure.
My boyfriend thinks it's amazing. I was like, okay, hear me out on this one. It's a little cheeky, but I think it'll be cool.
I think it's...
He liked it. So I was like, all right, then that's a neutral, unbiased audience member. So we got one vote in our favor thus far.
My mom loves it.
Oh, good.
That counts for anything.
Yes. So you told your mom. That's good. Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah. So I know there's a lot going on. I know if you haven't already, I know there's a benefit auction going on for Becky, Painting the Roses Red. They've been on for a little bit. I don't know when they're gonna, I know they have some other people that come on or whatever, but if you want to come in, if you want to talk about, today we're going to talk about sourcing. We're going to talk about our preferred method of sourcing. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. You can ask questions. We're going to kind of do a format where we show you our top sales of the week and, explain that and then have some fun. Go from there,
On into the goodies.
Absolutely. So, one soul's in here is probably me in the chat on YouTube.
It's probably me too.
How's it going?
It's great. Here, let's see. Maybe it's the name.
People are like, no tits, I'm not into it.
I'm not into it. Man, they're fully clothed. This is awful.
I hate this.
I hate this. We'll give people a second.
We will. And we'll give
to be fair, maybe because I was on YouTube, I don't know, I'll log out of YouTube on my phone to see if I get the notification. Maybe it hasn't gone out yet. Sometimes it's slow.
Yeah, sometimes it is, and depending on how wacky it is right now.
Yeah,
how
wackadoodle-doo.
Wackadoodle-doo.
I'll pull it up on my computorial device and stay.
Shoop, 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 shoop. Even if we don't have anyone in here, we can still talk about our favorite sourcing locations.
Yeah.
Definitely okay. Because
I'm gonna do that.
It definitely wanted this to be something where people could potentially watch this after, get some information. I was watching even
I just got your notification.
Okay. Mr. Buys-A-Lot mentioned, even if you don't like somebody, but you got information from them, and you can keep that information going and flowing, you have learned something from someone. So
yeah, that's true, right?
Hey, America Silver Patriot. Hello. Hope you're well.
Oh, hi. Welcome in.
Welcome.
Yeah, people are getting the notification now.
All right. Must have been a slow one.
Yeah. Must be busy night.
It's a busy night, and we're on an hour earlier than we were before.
This is true. We are. Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Well, I'll share my my best sale this week. So you may know, and we'll talk more about this, but I source a lot from shopgoodwill.com. I tend to buy a lot of the lots, and that can be anything can be in those lots, from literally body jewelry, hair accessories, or whatnot. My mom gave me some items because she likes the adventure of opening the boxes. So essentially, I get some items for free. Thanks, Mom.
The best.
And in that came a few Pandora items. So what I did to try to maximize, you know,
Yeah.
money, is there were 2 Pandora bracelets, and I comped each charm, and each bracelet by itself. So I broke it down essentially. I know there are some people who, when they get like maybe game systems or something along those lines, they'll break it down if maybe it's not working or something. So I had like a seahorse, a grandmother charm, a few other charms. I did them separately. I listed them separately, and then I
All individually or all the charms together?
all the charms individually,
Got it.
aside from maybe a few spacer charms, like a few like starter charms.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this one right here is the one I sold. I originally had it listed for $65, and this was it right here. And you can see it's one of those ball opening ones. It has the couple of different charms on here. It has a heart, a glass, and then a spacer. I sold it for $50 this week. And my mom only purchased the box, including shipping, for $40. So
Oh my
this is
goodness.
but I did the dance with a couple of people wanting, a lower price, but I would not go below 50. So that's another thing. So
that is awesome. Wow. I love it when one sale makes up for the whole trip or box or whatever that time, that
Yes.
one transaction. That's awesome.
Another thing too, I'll share another one so you could share too, because I know you've had a couple of really good ones. But I guess my second would be another eBay sale. And the reason that I think that this one's a good one is because it went fast. Someone watched it, and I gave them an offer on it, and they took it. It was $12. But considering I had originally had it listed for $18, it was just a gold tone charm bracelet. Sold it for $12. And it's something to consider that this would be something that I would probably bundle up on YouTube and start a lot at $5. So selling an item for just $12 is a whole heck of a lot, especially if you're getting it from a lot.
Especially when it goes fast too. That's way better than hanging on to it for a while to then only wad it up for $5 maybe. Yeah. That's awesome. So you never really know what people are looking for out there on the World Wide Web. You never know. Exactly. List everything. Everything. Okay, so for let's pull up a sale. I don't know if you all watched we were live a couple days ago together doing just listing, photographing, hangout stuff. And I was listing a couple beauty products that I'm trying out. It's kind of my new experiment with my own reselling stuff, is trying to find more new beauty products and listing them. And I listed this when we were live. It is just a face moisturizer. It's kind of blurry, but you can see. Listed it the day we were live, and it sold the very next day for full price, which was just incredible. So far my experiment in beauty products is going great. I've listed only a handful so far, maybe 4 or 5. I've sold 2 of them, but they've all sold for full price. So
what smokes, are you serious?
Yeah, so I sold this one for $32, and then that will be my second one, my second beauty product, or my second share. This one was on eBay. The other one was on Mercari, which is cool. I don't make a lot of sales on Mercari, so I'd like to grow my Mercari. Let's pull it up. This was a eye cream from the brand called Yes to Blueberries. Age Refresh eye cream. They make a lot of different like hair care, skincare, I think mostly, but it's yes to, and then like a vegetable or something, or fruit. So it'll be like yes to blueberries, yes to carrots or something. So interesting, yeah.
Daddy dropped my scissors. And
yeah, that one sold for $23, full price again. So,
and this was in a lot that you purchased a whole baggie of products, right?
Yeah, so I purchased several little bags. They're like little Ziploc bags at the thrift store that had at least two things in them, sometimes 4 or 5 bottles of things. So I don't know how many was in that bag with the eye cream. Probably had the eye cream and 2 other things in it. One price for the whole bag, and then you split it up, and it comes out to a decent price per piece. And then selling them for maybe $20 to $30 is pretty cool.
Unreal.
Yeah.
And what made you decide to go and try skincare?
Mostly from Instagram, seeing people sell things other than clothing, which is what I primarily do. So we talk a lot about Thrift to Travel, and she sells tons of awesome things, mostly, not home goods, but like home products or skincare, stuff like that. She sells anything and everything under the sun, but I learned a lot from her in the beauty products and like things you would find in the bathroom, basically, is kind of how I would think of it. Or like under your kitchen sink. Those kinds of products she sells a ton of, and I want to try and see, like I saw what she posted how much money she made last year on Amazon alone. It was like in net sales, not money she took home after fees and everything and cost of goods, but net sales was like $180,000 on Amazon alone. And she sells on like tons of other platforms. So I was like, I think I want to try these beauty products.
Oh my God. I'm shook. Holy crap.
So that inspired me to just pick up a couple bags of beauty products and see what happens.
I mean, dazang. Holy smokes. Hey, Elizabeth K. Hello.
Hi, everyone who has come in. Well,
Hello. So today is all about sourcing. We're going to kind of go with this pattern where in the beginning we kind of do like best sales, maybe depending on the week, worst sales. And then, kind of, have whatever the topic we're talking about, and then give us a challenge for the week, because everyone loves a good challenge. Hey, Kat. Hello.
Hi, Kat.
So sourcing is the most fun part about it, other than hearing that gorgeous cha-ching sound that you get when you make a sale.
Second.
Right. Going out and actually finding the products and getting them is what we're talking about today. Sourcing, gathering, thrifting, hunting, collecting, purchasing, however you want to call it, sourcing. So the big question today is retail arbitrage versus thrifting. And for those of you who don't know, retail arbitrage is where you, correct me if I'm wrong, purchase from like a big box store if they have a clearance, or am I wrong on that?
No, It's pretty much buying the product. And so if you're going to call thrifting secondhand, it's basically firsthand, right? You're buying it at a retail location, hopefully at a discounted price. But I guess technically you could buy it full price and try and flip it. You're just not going to be making any money, but that would technically still be retail arbitrage. So just buying it from a retailer box store. Normally discount stores are very popular.
Versus like a discount store, Ross or
TJ Maxx.
Yes, Marshalls.
Something
along those lines would be a great place to get. And I've heard lots of people be able to flip amazing things from there. So
yeah, I have experience with Ross and TJ Maxx for clothing and shoes.
And I love the fact that you will be able to provide an aspect on it that I'm not going to be able to, because buying something like that's really not ideal for me in this kind of situation.
Right.
Tchotchkes, bric-a-brac, whatever. So,
and that's more fun to find the hunt, the fun, unique item. That's more thrift store stuff.
So give me, hey, Dirt Diggers UK, hey. For me, thrifting, because I tend to like the different kinds of items, but I do retail arbitrage too at times if I can get it really cheap. Exactly.
Yep. It's all about the price, because you're margin, your profit margin is going to be a lot less in retail arbitrage. So you kind of have to know that going in and expect, you can make money, but you may not make as much.
Right.
So it's what kind of things you want to be providing. And sometimes it's good to do retail arbitrage to bring in some quote unquote desirable things to attract people to your store, your eBay store, and then they can look around or whatever, right? Like there's different reasons for wanting to do it.
Absolutely. So I actually follow a dude, and I'm going to talk about him just like we talk about the Thrift to Adventures or what her name is. His name actually is Retail Arbitrage on Instagram, and he started off with TikToks talking about his reselling, and then eventually got into Instagram and things like that. So I don't know if you guys know if you have a Michael's near you. Yes, Michael's is another really good one. I even understand that there are certain contracts you can make with big box stores where they're going to, before they give it to like a Goodwill or something, you can come in and purchase the item at a discount price.
That's cool.
That is like nummy. Like my Target here locally will give a lot of their products to Goodwills, the local Goodwills. So depending on what time of the month or the week, you can go in and get an item that's literally from Target for like $1.
That's so cool.
It's gross.
Yeah, I've thought that about my thrift stores. I don't know for sure, but sometimes I see stuff and I was like, this came straight from a store. I know this wasn't donated. You're just like, yeah.
Okay, I know people that will buy certain toys. Yes.
Desired. Yes. Same with sneakers. Expensive Nikes or whatever, they come out, but they go so fast, right? That if you're able to snag them, you can resell them for more just because they're so desirable because they're brand new.
Also holiday items.
Yes.
Buying holiday items cheap and then selling it, holding it. This is going to be like a long-term investment. A long-term investment. But it's something to consider as well.
Yeah.
So as far as, the retail arbitrage and that, what is your favorite place to source?
So I have gone to TJ Maxx, Ross. Those are the two big ones near me with the specific intention of retail arbitraging. You kind of have to, especially with, I think TJ Maxx and Ross are owned by like the same company or whatever, and they do their yellow tag sales, which is their biggest markdown. So when you go in and you see a tag that's just plain white, that means it hasn't been marked down. They'll add red stickers on top of them over time as the price decreases. And then once you see a yellow sticker, that's supposed to indicate that it's not going to be marked down anymore. And that's the cheapest that you'll ever get from them. So I have seen a couple times, that's like what they tell you. I have seen like 2 yellow stickers on top of each other. So, I'm sure they're wonky things, but I've heard that it's, twice a year, there's like the big yellow tag. It's kind of like the change of seasons, I think, where they just put everything on yellow. And so I heard about it through Instagram. Every local TJ Maxx and Ross and Marshalls and all those are all different on their schedule. And there are ways you can Google and find the articles on, there's the barcode with the price on it. And then there's a bunch of numbers above the barcode. It's supposed to tell you what week of the year the price changed. So there's like severe mathematics you can do looking at the barcode and this price sticker to figure out if you are due for a new price drop. So I actually pulled this off one time where I was in the TJ Maxx. I had just read the article, so I knew kind of what to do.
Right.
It was the first number was like the week in the year. So like 1 through 52. Sure. And if it was within so many weeks of the current week or something, or outside of that, you could ask an associate to double check if there could be a price drop. And then they just scan it with their gun thing and print out a new sticker right on top, which that was cool. So anyway, I have sourced from there. There's a lot more you can learn, and I'm by no means an expert. But there are great articles on how to really get the most out of a TJ Maxx or Ross. Yellow is a good thing to look for. I bought several things there back. That was like last summer I did that. And most of them sold. Some of them took a long time. So I don't know if it was, worth it, because you have to also think everyone else is going to the same stores at the same time, picking up the same things and flooding the market. So it was awesome for some things, really not awesome for others.
What were some non-awesome things that didn't sell?
Like, I'm trying to think of some like cute tops that I thought, they were great. They picked them up for literally like $4, new with tags, which is also, a plus of retail arbitrage. Things new. Also make sure though, if you pick up clothing specifically, that it comes with the brand tag and not just the Ross tag, because once you cut off the Ross tag, you can't claim it as new with tags anymore. So you lose that ability to say new with tags.
That's what I found, is that what is on clearance, others are buying too, and it's a yes.
Yeah. So it could be like, maybe it just wasn't as desired, or there were just too many of them on the market. I found too, probably all the super, super desirable brands go first on the yellow sales. And then you're left with not necessarily bad brands, but not the ones that sell as fast. So
as far as the retail arbitrage goes, what I can, tell you that I know for certain is that you can approach any associate and ask them, what are your receiving days, or when do you actually get your stock? And they'll be able to tell you when their new things come in. So you can either, watch out for that, or go the certain days, or, like Kelly said, the clearance days. So I know that that's awesome. That's something that, if you get good with somebody that, I've even heard of certain people holding certain things, like associates holding for customers, just because they have a really good connection.
I don't have the balls to do that yet. And I don't go enough. I just don't find it as enjoyable as the hunt of a thrift store. So I don't I usually end up leaving a little disappointed. Like, you go in with such high hopes, right? Like, you're all sourcing trips. And you're like, this is going to be great. And then you're like, everything in here is so expensive.
Right. So if you're used to that sort of buying new, selling new kind of format, but if you're just starting out and, maybe can't afford that, obviously thrift stores are the way to go. With the pandemic and everything that's going on right now, I think a lot of people, the stores aren't as open as often. You can't just go on a whim willy-nilly. You have to source, online. So how has that changed for you, or are things still kind of like open and available over there?
We're still open here. I know California is a lot different. For those who don't know, I'm in Virginia, right outside Washington, D.C., actually. Basically, you could just say I live in DC. And we're pretty much open. I can go to the thrift store and stuff. I try, just for safety, not to go very often. So I would hit up a big sale, get a lot of things, and then try and not go for a month kind of thing, or more. I've definitely looked into more online things since COVID and everything, and have found some interesting, other online auctions or online estate sales and stuff like that, which are fun. I have not purchased from them, but
that's the thing. Scary.
Yeah.
I do probably 90% of my sourcing from shopgoodwill.com. That is a plus and a minus for me. Before, I used to go on there and I'd kind of like great white shark status. My eyes rolled back in my head and I just went for it and just bought. And now I've been doing this for a little bit. I can tell by looking at a lot if it's going to be worth the price. Plus, shipping is where shipping is where they always gouge you on shopgoodwill.com. So we were talking before we started is, do you but don't get into the drawers, please. Do you, as a sourcer, tend to spend a little bit of a higher price on an item locally than you'd be willing to spend online and have to pay for shipping? So like a pencil sharpener, a vintage pencil sharpener. Are you willing to spend a little extra dollars but not having to spend on shipping to resell it, sort of thing? So it's just something to think about.
Yeah. I always, when, especially on Shop Goodwill, always, look up what the shipping will be to my location. And then when I'm debating, okay, what's my limit on this lot? How high am I willing to go? I always add in, the shipping. So I have, if I'm willing to bid $100 and it's $10 to ship, that means I'm willing to pay $110 for this lot or whatever. Definitely work that into your thesis,
right?
Whatever. And if possible, some of the lots are, where it's just like 12 pounds and you can't see everything. But the smaller lots, I zoom in and I count how many items. Sometimes it tells you, sometimes it doesn't. And then divide it by what I'm willing to go up to is, okay, it's $1 per piece. So I'm willing to do $1 per piece, knowing that I'm getting roughly this many items.
Right.
Sometimes you can't do that though.
No, exactly. If you've gotten something that, is like a 14-pound lot of jewelry, I at least try to look through. And another thing too, as much as I am a reseller, I do have a YouTube, so I do put out content. So as much as I like to, and I'm not saying you don't, I'm just saying, for me, a lot of how I bring the people in is by, this is my unboxing video. So whether it's a good box or a bad box, I kind of like to just put it out there, period, because you never know what kind of box you're going to get. I mean,
True.
Literally talking about it right before, my mom paid $40 for a lot and she got 2 Pandora bracelets and some charms out of it. So
you never know what you're going to get.
You never know. Like knowing what times, I find the best times to get stuff on Shop Goodwill is the evening time. I'm talking Sunday night, like people are busy, go in there, clean house.
Like what time for you?
So I would say like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Man, it's rough for me.
Yeah.
This is why you get all the good ones. I'm sleeping.
Well, and another thing too, I have preset things that I look for. So you'll find too, when, whatever you're sourcing on, and trying to get, I really enjoy natural stones. So I have a preset search for natural stones. And that could mean that an item's going to be ending in 7 days, but I'm watching that item. I'm watching it like a friggin' hawk. So I know, and another thing too, is I'll go my absolute maximum bid hot right out the market when I see it. So that way, if I do get a notification, hey, it's gone over, I'm like, is this item really going to be worth it? So it makes me and check it out.
Right. Because they do the, what's it called? Like proxy bidding or whatever, right? So you don't, because if you're new to the Shop Goodwill place, you put in your max, but it won't go to your max unless someone bids it up to that. So it's kind of nice. You don't have to be like at your computer refreshing, even though I usually am. But that is cool. Some other places too, I just wanted to kind of mention on this kind of online auction thing that I discovered during COVID are police auctions. Have you heard of these?
What?
So there are online auction houses, websites, whatever, that the first one that comes to my head right now is called Property Room. So it's propertyroom.com. They have other sellers other than law enforcement, but how I found them was through law enforcement doing auctions of seized property. They legally have to auction it to the public.
You're joking.
No. I have not bought anything off of there, but I look all the time. I get the daily emails from Property Room. They have everything. Jewelry. They find very, very expensive things. Sometimes
Propertyroom.com.
I believe so. It's Property Room. I think it's a .com.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Room.com. Yep. So a bunch of their sellers are police, not all. They sell anything and everything. I think a lot, or at least a decent amount of their stuff may have reserves on it, so I'm not a big fan of those. And the prices might be a little crazy, but I think they do have jewelry lots. Bulk lots under jewelry.
Wow. Popular auctions closing within 24 hours. Electronics.
Like they have everything. Oh yeah.
Art. Scooby-Doo. Versace jeans. Wow. Okay. So bulk lots.
Yeah.
$19.
And I know some of the bulk lots you should read because sometimes they get you where this one looks better, but sometimes it's like, we'll pick 3 pieces out of this lot and send them to you. I'm
Right.
like,
So
no.
right here, mixed 25 piece. So obviously in looking at the pictures, this doesn't looks like they're going to pick for you. As this doesn't look
25
like
pieces. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what they're going to, but that's
Definitely read the descriptions on everything, no matter where you're buying from. But like that mixed jewelry, 21 pieces at the bottom there is starting at $1. I don't know if there's a reserve on it. It'll tell you.
You will review use a proxy bid to win. Mix 20 pieces.
Oh, it's shipping from Frederick, Maryland. That's right by me. Anyway, just another fun, like another auction place, unique. I just start looking up.
Holy crap, dude. Like
law enforcement auctions.
Dang.
I don't know what the shipping is. It may be different again for when you do shop Goodwill, it depends on what Goodwill it's coming from. So it might be the same, but
it really depends on whether they're going to be using UPS or USPS.
Yeah.
At least for me, and I'm just going to go ahead and put propertyroom.com because that into the chat, just so if anyone's curious and checking that out, because I'm definitely going to love looking at news sources, love, reviewing older sources. Another place that I oftentimes check but never have good luck is this one right here. Right here, ThreadUp. I have, and if you're looking on a mobile device, you have to go to, this particular, you have to look at the desktop version or you're not going to find the rescues. I learned that the hard way.
Did not know that.
So, I don't want that. This is a lot how I see it. I mean,
always unavailable.
Always unavailable. Obviously, you can sign up for the emails, but for me, I've had awesome luck with this mixed jewelry lot. But of course, the kids' clothes, a lot of them are for sale, but you can see here mixed sizes. No. So you can even check the options without signing up. And I have a thing.
Do they have men's available at the moment?
They have what?
Do they have men's clothing available? Name brand, but do I shoes designer?
Mixed men's clothing is not available.
So a little insider tip on, not insider tip, but I found it interesting about the men's potentially being better than the other clothing or more consistently better than the other clothing boxes because ThreadUp doesn't actually sell men's clothes. So anything that they get in that the person didn't request to have sent back to them gets put in a rescue box. So if you think of people are like, oh, I'll send this in thinking I can make some money on it, it's probably going to be in maybe some better shape than the reject women clothing, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you sell men's clothing, just be on the lookout. They go quick though, like everything else you can see.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, that could be for, you know, the same with Shop Goodwill. I mean, you may want a lot. Like there are one week you can get a lot of sterling silver and you can get it for under $100. And the next lot, you're not going to find anything. And it's not going to be less than $200 for a lot of sterling. So sit and wait on it. There is no rush to find something that is not going to be absolutely unaffordable.
And there are
always something. There's always going to be something. And talking about thrift stores and everything, I think that at least for me as a jewelry reseller, I always have my like external charger with me, so that I always have juice in my phone. Another thing I always take with me is a magnet. Have that with you. It's a small thing that's going to make or break. Sometimes I go to flea markets. That's like one of my favorite places to source. People just take tubs and dump it. And they want $2, $3, $4 for an item. You can check it right there. Where like they said it's silver. And I, put a magnet to it. I'm like, it's not. No, so it's that little thing that's going to save you a lot of money.
Yeah. I've never been to a flea market. I need to like experience that.
I don't know. I mean, obviously it's going to be incredibly different. Maybe
relative. Like, you don't know, like mine probably different than the ones there, but still like, so it's just people in like booths, right? Or like spaces that they just bring stuff to sell. Is it generally, from what I understand, cheap? Or no?
Yes. So I have a couple of different flea markets that are around me. I have one that's always on the weekends, and then I have ones that are on Sunday and Monday.
Okay.
So, you tend to learn quickly who's got stuff and who doesn't. And then if they'll yell, hey, all of my stuff right now is going to be $1. So literally anything you see pull up, it's going to be $1. So
that's really cool. That's cool.
It's crazy. But you're always, at least over here, at least for me, what I've found in comparison, you're always going to find clothes. Clothes are like flooded. What the clothes are, how much you can make from them, I don't know. I always tend to go for the stuff that's close by the people in the back. Look through everything. And for me, when I'm going to the flea market, I don't get them from the carts, and I don't like to get them from people who know what they're talking about, because they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. I mean, you get there early, you rush over, or at least whatever. They have a section that's like, it just depends on which flea market you go to. But I hear that there's even ones closer to Sacramento that you can go to that are a whole lot different, that are like severely wholesale.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I hear back east too, I know that there's a lot, like I used to watch a lot Crazy Lamp Lady. She goes through and she takes you through all of the setup that they have at the flea markets and the stuff that she gets. And
wow. That would be cool. Yeah. I really want to check one out. It's a unique sourcing place, and I need to try it.
Haven't gone in ages though. Yeah.
Haven't gone in
magnet's gonna be the thing with that.
Yeah. I need to do that too.
Yeah. And it's hard sometimes when it's cold outside to be able to put a stone to your skin to find out if it's cold.
True.
So you have to try to be as cleanly and hygienic as possible when you're trying to find that out. That goes
early, right? Like early mornings.
I usually, and mind you, I have children, so my early morning getting there, if I can get there at like 8 a.m., I'm doing good. Normally, and see, like my kids are up, that's like preparation. Like I could not do it without my husband helping me hold on to the game.
Yeah. That is early for me. That is early.
But I mean, another thing too was I used to go to local flea markets and I would go right before it closed. People don't want to, keep their stuff anymore. Here,
Just at the end of the day, I just want to make a sale. Yeah.
Here. So you have the advantages on both spots of it. So haggle. I'm not a person who likes confrontation. I get nervous, but I have honed in on my haggle skills because of it.
I'm so bad at haggling. So bad.
So bad at haggling, but if I know there's something in there.
No.
And another thing is cash.
Yeah, I would have to bring cash. I've heard that's better.
And cash too helps, you're all around breaking down, how much you could, logically spend and,
physically have it. Yeah.
Yes. So it tends to be one of those things where you can go like a hawk around the place. It sounds a lot worse than what it actually is. You can go around the place multiple times and check it out. And if it's still there, it's meant to be. You know what I mean? Same as
that's a good point. Yeah, it's meant to be. Well, that's cool. I want to do that. I want to hit up more estate sales and garage sales and things like that as it starts getting warmer. You're good. I definitely want to visit those. I've had some good luck at estate sales. The one that I bought a decent amount of things from, I've had some good luck on estate sales.
Now, when you go to estate sales, do you go with do you stick with the clothes or do you dabble in a bit of it all?
I went with it all at the time. Hi, Crystal. Let's see, this one, it was like the second or third day of it or something. And so as time goes on, the sale gets bigger, right? And it was a decent sale day. I don't remember the percentages, but there were almost hardly any clothes, but the pictures online showed some vintage toys and stuff like that I was like, oh, this could be fun. I picked up a handful of things. Nothing was like, well, I guess maybe the Kodak film projector. Like literally you put slides in it and it was like a projector that would, whatever. It was cool. I tested it there or at home. I can't remember. It worked. I was like, oh my gosh, this works.
Wow.
And then I go and like test it again and I broke it. Like I didn't physically do something wrong. It had like died in the meantime. I was like, well, now it's lost value. I still sold it for like $60. It was broken and I said it was broken and they knew it and they didn't complain. Like that was a positive sale. So I'd say that was probably my best flip from the flea market or the estate sale. Everything else was more bread and butter, but they were fun. They were different things I wouldn't normally sell. Like I thought it was a mug. Turned out not to be a mug. It said Old Spice on it, but it was clearly vintage. And I think I actually saw it exactly. I was like, this is too small for a cup of coffee, but it had a handle and things. I was like, this is weird. It took me a while to figure out it was for shaving. And I think I had seen the exact same thing in a Bolo Buddies video like 2 days prior. It was like a vintage Old Spice or something. And I was like,
yummy.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. I don't know if over there they have it, but here, at least in my area, there are these people that come in and will do the estate sales for you. So a lot of the estate sales that are here are ran by like a team.
A business,
earpieces. They have everything legit price marked. So it's almost intimidating and I don't know how I always end up getting around to talking to the main person and them, or either just talking to me. I always end up in a corner and they're like, we're just selling this because so-and-so. And I'm like, I don't want to know.
Don't tell me. Just let me alone. No, that's what this was. It was Sales by Gail. And she, right? She, bought some, someone hired her company for an estate sale or whatever. And it wasn't even at the house anymore. Like the first couple days, I guess, were at the house. And then they moved it to like Gail's warehouse or whatever, like her store, not a storage unit. It was like a more of a building than that, but it was more of a warehouse style thing. And they just lined everything up. So
for personal shopping, I think going to an estate sale early on day one, then going back to last day. Yes, exactly, Elizabeth. That is awesome. Exactly right. Because at that point, you get the juicy stuff in the beginning. And then at the end, if that something is still there that you're still thinking about.
Yeah. And it'll be priced better the last day. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to do more of those and more garage sales, which are, not always, those are more run by the actual family more than.
Right. I've gotten so many, and I think the hardest thing for me, I would be good at it, but I don't want to be, is books. I have like my collection, like my whole alcove is full of books. And that's the one thing that I would have a really hard time letting go of. But that's where I find killer books is yard sales. And that has nothing to do with what I sell now, but that's what I always end up losing with.
Oh, that's cool. I'm not afraid of a garage sale, but I don't like when people know I'm checking comps. And it's a little harder or it's just more obvious you're on your phone, especially if there's not very many people. And I don't want them to talk to me. And I don't want to haggle because, like I said, I'm not good at haggling. But I know, you can get some really good deals if you say you're interested in this pile of things and you just say how much for the pile. You can get a really good deal that way. I just need to come out of my shell and blossom.
And it just takes time, but I think what helps for me, and it's not at all the same in your case, but it's just, I'll take a picture of something. My husband's in the car with the kids. I take a picture of it, send it to him, and we know we're doing comps. So we'll either swap back and forth. He'll take first shift, look around, and he'll show me the items that he thinks. He'll pick up something. I go back through. So we're constantly double checking each other. It's a bit like we've got it down to this weird science that works. So
I love that you're like tag teaming of this.
Eventually, and we've talked about, and I'm so serious that we want to make this like a legit thing. Like we want to do this. It's just, making sure, having the money, getting everything in the right steps to do it, be smart about it. So that's the toughest thing.
So does he source with you most times? I mean, obviously not online, but if you're out at a thrift store, flea market, does he always tag along and like pick up stuff with you?
He does. He actually has a pretty good eye, in my opinion. A lot of the stuff that he gets sells faster than the stuff that I pick up. So
there you go.
Another place too that maybe a lot of people aren't comfortable with but don't know is Facebook Market. Not only I have children, and the amount of toys that I get from gifts, stuff like that, I'll put in a bucket, and they're great toys. They're fantastic toys. I just don't want them in my house anymore. And I'll say, hey, free here. Yeah. Come and get them. Only serious people, I'll give you my address, porch pickup only. So with that mentality of that's where I put a lot of my stuff, we check the free sections every single day on Facebook Market.
Yep. I should do that too. I've done that on Nextdoor.
Yes.
It was kind of the same concept for your local area. I need to do that with Facebook. I'm trying to list to Facebook a little bit as well.
Yes. I've heard that you only pay 5% fees on Facebook Market, and they have the option to ship items now.
Yeah. So they have shipping, obviously local pickup. I've done it with just a couple items that I feel like are a little stale, and I just want to see move. And I was like, let's try a new audience, you know.
That's
I
it.
heard the downside of Facebook Marketplace is the endless messages of, is this available? And then they go, so
Yeah. There's only so much that I can kind of, and just like when you're listing something, you know the sweet days. I know that if I post something on a Thursday, I will tolerate it until a Sunday. And if it's not sold by then, I'm taking it down because I do not want to deal with the message. And by then, hopefully, you know, you give yourself adequate enough time, but you find a sweet spots that work for you and who's serious and who's not. So that's a really great place, at least for me, to be able to, because I love the local pickup. It saves on shipping. I know how much shipping is, you know what I mean?
Oh,
so,
I don't. Yeah, especially I know a lot of storage unit buyers. You know, you get a lot of big, bulky things that are just really impractical to ship. Facebook is a great place to get rid of furniture and stuff like that for those large things. Or, you know, a lot of people on Facebook, not Facebook Marketplace, but in Facebook reselling groups I'm a part of, will find awesome high-end furniture at the thrift store. Ethan Allen, right?
Yeah.
And find it $20, whatever. And, you know, that's not something you're going to want to ship or deal with how the logistics of that through eBay or something. But you could make still a really, really good flip off of Facebook Marketplace.
Yes.
So good for big items, for sure.
Fantastic. And I mean, literally, that's a place too where you can find where, sorry, I have to adjust my butt. Where you can find where the local yard sales are going to be too. So that's another place. But I was out, my parents had come out this last weekend and I had seen some stuff. My dad collects comics, my mom, you know, whatever, she does the same with me. We're all, you know, whatever. We found some things, and during that time I went around and just kind of taking the long way, and there were like no yard sales, and I was so surprised. I cannot wait. I know Elizabeth K said, I can't wait to start garage selling again.
Yeah.
Like, legit, like completely understand.
Craigslist has a, looking at our next comment as well, I think the yard sale treasure map is run through Craigslist. I think there's one of the websites / apps that is fueled by Craigslist's ads, and it tells you like where all the local yard sales are.
Wow.
I know some treasure map or something, yard sale.
My grandpa used to put them in the newspaper. Like he would get the newspaper. He was something else with yard sales. But you know, if you find something that works for you, stick with it. It's all I have to say, because I know these people going in and they know my kids more than I think they know my face, or like because of my hair or something. They know me, and you know, they'll tell me, you know, I know you. I don't have to worry about checking your ID because I know you. That's good in a sense. It makes a transaction easier. And you know, coming back, they'll think about you. So it's
yeah, that's good. And it is yard sale treasure map is the one that's powered with Craigslist stuff, and you can create like a little route, you know, click on the pins and, you know, create your map for the day.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Yummy. Can't wait for that.
Yes.
So we're almost at the hour point, and I mean, I could talk about this until the cows come home, but we're wanting to end it with a challenge that we give ourselves a week. I think what we'd really love to do, at least for me, I could talk for myself, is trying to do something for you guys so that you don't have to. See if it works for us, so it'll work for you eventually. So what we're going to try to do is either revisit a place where we just completely shut down. We all have those places where we go in and I'm like, I'm not going back here again. Or someplace you haven't been to in a while. We are going to challenge ourselves this week. Hey, Susan. to go
Yeah.
to a place or thrift from a location where we haven't gone before.
It's like that's what we kind of the theme was always, especially with the online auctions and stuff, is you don't know what you're gonna get the day you go, right? You could have gone online and just the one day you look, there weren't any good lots, but you don't know what next week is gonna look like. Same with going in person. And so it's don't write off a location once, I'm guilty of it. I've definitely said I'm never going back here. But I think that's perfect, Susan. Yeah, like a second chance challenge.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then obviously we're going to do it. And then, next week when we start up, we'll talk about our sales, and then we'll talk about our challenge. And of course, if you're watching this on the replay and there's anything you have any questions about, you can always leave comments down below. We could, touch on it next week. And if there's something in particular that you have any questions about or would like for us to do a segment about, we'd love to hear from you.
That's actually good. Yeah. What topics, what aspects of reselling are you curious about, or, intimidate you or want to learn more about? Like, that would be cool to know what you all are interested in.
Yes, exactly.
We have our list of things we want to talk about, but what you guys want to hear is also the question.
Exactly. So is there anything you want to touch on before we sign off?
No, this was awesome. I hope this was valuable. I hope it was fun learning a couple new sourcing places, or just, now I'm inspired to give a lot more look-sees at some of these online places that I had not wanted to before and stuff. So that's awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got something valuable out of our little chatty chat. And I'm really excited to see where this goes for us.
I need to hunker down a time where we can do a listing challenge, because I know that's only going to benefit us. And I want to do like a vlog style kind of benefit thing. And of course, guys, I have added a little info in the description box for the Thrifter Scorecard, which is the app that Kelly made. So, hey, chill out. So that's in the description box down below. Again, hopefully, Kelly, if you want to put the website, good golly, in the chat. Love to hear, love for you guys to check it out. Her app has been amazing. Being able to come home right from the thrift store, put in the items when it's fresh in your noggin, be able to list the item and how much you paid for it so you don't forget and throw away the receipt. I want to know how people handle sales tax on YouTube, or they just ignore it. I cannot speak for others, but what I can tell you is that there is a certain, especially on PayPal, there's a certain amount of invoices or a certain amount of money that you have to reach before it starts becoming where you have to claim that as money coming in. I would recommend talking to a
CPA.
There it is. There's the word.
Person.
Accountant. Somebody that has that kind of knowledge. I will be able to give more information about that next week, as tomorrow I am meeting with a CPA, and I'm going to go over last year's things and work on the process of becoming an LLC.
Exciting.
I in one time in my life, my husband and I were both working. We didn't have children yet. I had to pay, taxes, and that has frightened me to no end. So now I am 100% not wanting to be in that spot again. So
we can cover, in a very delicate way, maybe as it gets closer, as more people start doing their taxes, we can cover some delicately. We're not going to give any advice on what you should do, but maybe just our experiences or something. So we're not tax professionals, but I do know from starting up Thrifter Scorecard and having to deal with a user base that's all across the country, and being a company, what you do as far as sales tax, and It does depend on, I can't remember the one word they use, but it's basically the amount of influence that you have in that state. So it's
Right.
varies per state. Do you have enough of the market there? Are you selling enough of your product in that specific state? And they have, each state has its own number of transactions or a dollar amount in sales that you have to make before you start charging sales tax to your customers in that state. So, but yeah, like people are saying in the chat, you know, check with your state office. Every state is different and it depends on what you
Yes.
feel.
And it's a little bit intimidating at first because there's always that underlying, am I going to get penalized? But literally, if you don't want to talk to maybe the state board, try to get in contact with the CPA or some kind of accountant. The one that I'm going to tomorrow is actually offering me a free consultation. So they, you know, check around, ask locally. Another thing that I did was I actually hopped on a local like group that I'm in on Facebook, and I said, hey, can anyone recommend to me a CPA or an accountant that you can trust is affordable? Yes.
Yeah.
And so source out, branch out in that way. Don't be afraid to just stick to, you know, your go-to. Ask the questions because they're just going to be honest with you, and something like that, they're going to want your business, so they're going to help you in that sense.
I want to know. Yeah. I recommend to, especially if you're starting out, obviously keep track of all of your incoming and outgoing money. And the way I do that is with QuickBooks Self-Employed. It's $1 a month. And it has been the easiest thing for me to be able to do my taxes this year. It links to your bank and everything. So you just log in and it will have all your transactions, and you just say, is it personal? Was it business? Is it personal, business? And you choose all your transactions. And then I do my taxes through TurboTax, and it sends all of that info over, and selling business is done.
Because there's that fine, not to get into it too more juicier, but there's that fine line between, okay, I'm doing this. Okay, this may be something. Okay, am I doing too much?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, what's that line for you that you want to maybe talk to somebody? See, think of long term. Do you want to continue to do this in the next year or two or whatever? This is clearly a side hustle, you know, all those variables. But there is a lot of YouTube videos that I've even looked at myself to try to give some kind of information to me before I even sought out a CPA. Hi, Carly. So, and there's a couple. Exactly, Susan. There's a couple friendly guys on here. I know the Flipping Accountants is one of them, who is actually an accountant, and that is his day job. Yeah.
You're right.
Oh, hey, the state and county want a piece of the money pie. Yes, exactly.
You don't want to be in a financial pickle.
That's a big 10-4, Elijah. Who is my husband, for those of you who don't know. Hello. So yeah, it's nuts. It's crazy, but it's so fun. And that's the thing that you have to remember, is the end game.
Yeah. Hopefully you're doing this because you enjoy it. Like, that's why we're all here, I feel like. So
fingers crossed. But yeah. So I think if you don't have, sorry about the movement of the camera.
No, you're good.
But with that being said, I think we're probably gonna sign off. We're gonna be here next week with your naked knowledge. Sorry, we're not naked, but
Susan's naked. You're gonna get me.
What?
My brain. It's a different story. Oh, so sweet.
Anyways, thank you. Really appreciate that. Anyways, okay. I will try to be on tomorrow to maybe either do a buy it now sale or something along those lines. If not, I will be on Tiffany's Saturday night. I have a lot of costume stuff like that. You know, Kelly and I are going to work on getting some kind of thrifting challenge together. We just got to tackle down a night, day, week, something along those lines. So,
yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
And of course, stick around for next week. We'll have a brand new topic. We'll show you the outcome of our challenge. And hopefully it'll inspire you to step out of your comfort box and have some fun and make a little extra coin. Hey.
That's what we're here for. So I hope you all have a really good week. We'll see you next week.
Hasta pasta.
Bye, guys.
See you on the next one.